Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised. The Full Melt.
This is fucking SoCal right here, am I right? You gotta fucking kick ass, man. This is fun. So straight up, I just got out of Twin Towers. Give me some love. I'm not showering with a man who has got tits bigger than most chicks I've ever been with. And this was a big black model. Okay. It was fun, man, you guys. I'll tell you what. Yeah, getting locked up for medical marijuana, that's fun. That's a fun thing. I hope you guys look into it. Let's make this shit legal and taxable, right? Amen? Stop fucking around. We're gonna do this shit. I got targeted because I'm the 420 comic, but hey, we are all representing 420, so give it up for Howard Dover for continuing to make this shit happen. So, you guys having a good year so far? Yeah! I'm having a pretty good year. Been trimming down, losing some weight. I'm on this new fat diet. It's called poverty. Keeping the carbs really low. Got a lot of sexy ladies down here in La Jolla. Give it up for them, man, you guys. I am single, or as I like to call it, available. But, I used to be a married guy. And when I was married, you know what I hated hearing? My wife didn't want me watching the pornos. And she said, if you want a porno, I'll make you a porno. I thought that's pretty cool, right? Then again, how often do I want to see my wife get it on with Ron Jeremy? My wife wanted me to take her to Disneyland all the time. Yeah, happiest place on earth, my ass. Next, last time I went, security surrounded me before I left my car. Yep, they accused me of doing cocaine. Actually called me a cokehead. I was fucking offended. Should be obvious to anyone that I'm a pothead. Besides, guys, we all know it's just not right to do cocaine at Disneyland. You do cocaine at Magic Mountain. You take your mushrooms at Disneyland. Who else has been on Tom Sawyer Island for 5 fucking days? Trying to get on that canoe. Hey, I'm just hanging here in Becky's house a bit. Anything to do is game, bro. We got a little home going. That's a literary joke, guys. It's called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Pick up a book. Yeah, man, I fucking, I'll tell you what, man, it's no wonder a stoner. Look, I'm a stoner, and you guys are stoners. Look at the shit we grew up on when we were kids. You guys ever see HR Puffin stuff?
Yes.
Remember the words to HR Puffin stuff? HR Puffin stuff. Who's your friend when things get rough? HR Puffin stuff. You can't do a little because you can't do enough. That sound familiar? What does HR mean? HR, I figured it out. Hand rolled. I gotta be fucking stuff.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
This is the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
Yes, sirree, Bob, we're here. Live at the PepPain.com studios for another fantabulous The Full Melt Show, where today we are featuring 420 comedy. That's right, the funny stuff about pot. Isn't pot funny enough when you smoke it? I don't know. Life becomes funny when you've got a little weed around. I'm just saying. It seems like much of the nation agrees with me. Do you? Do you like marijuana? Then if you do, you've got to like comedy. If you like comedy and marijuana, you got to love the food. I don't know. There just seems to be certain things that go together. And today we've got a chance to observe that. In full spectrum. Look, who's calling me? Oh, good Lord. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone. Hey, Bobby, what's going on? Bobby? Bobby. It must be a pocket dial. Robert, are you there? And it is... Quit dick dialing me, Bobby. Good Lord. Robert's our guy that does some web work. He's also producing, putting together, and sometimes I question whether or not I got the right guy doing this, as is evidenced by that phone call. Hey, look, I'm just on the air. Let's call Steve. In fact, I'll call him without even knowing. He may even have called and not have been able to hear me because he's got a crappy phone. He should have kept the one that I gave him. It was the only way of getting home. He's putting together a mobile app, which at some point we will release in its full splendor. It is designed to carry not only this program on all mobile devices, which you can't always do. Details about that later. It's not so funny. I'm trying to stay on the funny side today. But this thing is, it's going to be called the Wax app. It's been in development for a long time. It's in the tail end of it now, or so I trust. So we had it all working out before, and we pulled the plug on it for a while, had to do some other stuff. Anyway, that's Bobby. A strange cat indeed. But one of these days, I'm going to get him on the... You know what I should do is call him. Do I have enough time? I think I might. I don't know. That was like a 3-minute comedy sketch. It looks like I might have. I'm going to call him. You know, I actually called him earlier. I'm only calling him because Robert is funny. He doesn't intend to be funny. And sometimes when he does try to be funny, he's not so funny. I don't even know if we'll be able to reach him, because if he did call me intentionally. You don't have to do. See if I can plug this in. Do. You calling me back? No, see, that's right. There you go. I don't know if he's listening. He probably figured out that I was on the air. Don't call me back during the show, Robert. That's not a good idea. He figured out I was going to put him on the spot. You know who I wanted to put on the spot today? Speaking, I need some comic relief at this point. Simply because, I don't know. First off, I have this issue with corporate America. It's just an issue that I've had for a while. You probably have the same issue if you've encountered the same terrible customer experience on the phone, customer service, almost any corporation you call. Doesn't matter. And if you're going to have cable service, or if you're going to have internet service, if you're going to have cell phone service, any of these things, all bought up by the big corporations. And then they outsource a bunch of crap overseas. They don't pay any taxes. They want to pretend they're people in front of Congress and, the Supreme Court. It's just gotten ridiculous. It's gotten so ridiculous that the corporations have, really screwed the government, which is part of the reason this program is even on the air, because it's responding to the lack of progress on our federal government's behalf on this very subject: cannabis, medical marijuana, hemp, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same crap. It's just got various and sundry names depending on, how politically correct you want to sound. Marijuana is a horrible demon term. Pot and weed are all street terms. Cannabis is the technical term. Doesn't really matter. Medical marijuana, they should call it medical cannabis because it's more appropriate. That's why we do this program. And talking about progress, it seems like we've had some progress. It seems like the Hinkie-Rohrbacher Amendment has, as was added to the CSJ spending bill, which is the Commerce, Science, and Justice Department spending bills. So when they fund the federal government, they do it through a series of, spending projects. It's a series of bills. They don't do it all at once. They hack it out into little bits, and then that way they can pass what they want and modify what they don't, or throw out what they don't. It's a huge chess game that happens every year, and it seems like the good news this year is that we've got the same good news that we had last year, except it's even better news. I guess I should talk about this a little bit tomorrow in more detail, because there's a lot to tell. I'm just saying. With regards to, I have to minimize this so I can see how we're doing here. Sometimes if you're the only guy running the show, you got to pay attention to like 27 things while you're trying to tell a story. Congress has the Hinkie-Rohrbacher Amendment prevents in the spending bill attached to the Justice Department the ability of the federal government to spend any money interfering with the implementation of medical marijuana or recreational marijuana where it has been legalized. I've been told by several attorneys that this doesn't really matter much as it relates to on the ground because the prosecutors are still trying these cases. They're kind of thumbing their nose at Congress a bit. They don't like the idea that Congress is starting to pull the reins in. It seems that there are several other fronts on which we've made progress, including a bill that would, among other things, make medical marijuana available to, which it formerly has not been available to, the fine, upstanding veterans of our country. These people have gone in times of war as volunteers and held up arms at the president's request, many times losing their lives, limbs, some of them coming back with terrible disorders. This is Vietnam protracted. These people are coming back with all kinds of injuries, pain, and other things, including post-traumatic stress disorder, which is, easily served by various and sundry forms of cannabis. It's being denied to the veterans as we speak because the veterans are always pushed into going to the VA. If you're a veteran of either foreign wars or if you're a veteran of the military services of any branch, you are kind of required, channeled through, pointed, directed to the Veterans Administration to go get any kind of health care. And the VA, up until now, even in states, the 20-some states that we have on board regarding medical marijuana, have denied them the opportunity of using said substance. Or they get denied health care. They won't make any recommendations with regards to this because the federal illegality stands in front of them. It's a horrible thing. But amongst other things, several other things, and I'll have to get into the details of this later because, I'm already short on this break, this segment. A commercial break's coming any second now. But we'll talk about this in the future. The progress is being made at the federal level. It is a slow pendulum swing, but it's swinging. It's swinging, and right now we're laughing. We're laughing because it's a Wednesday. It's 420 Comedy Day. We're going to do this again next week as well. We got another comic lined up. Last week was Ngaio Belam. I said it wrong. I always say it wrong. Ngaio Belam was on last week. Today, the comedy science of Jeffrey Peterson. He's a 420 comic, and he's coming up next live right here on The Full Melt at thefullmelt.com. You're getting The Full Melt. It's not easy out there, but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. His knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome, and Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
With this warmer weather, I get more active. Headaches and pains keep me from doing things I enjoy, like golfing and working outside my yard. Toledo Hemp Center's new location, 1415 Sylvania Avenue, has shown me there is an alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. I use CBD, cannabidiol, infused hemp lotions, oral sprays, and topical oils. Thank you, Toledo Hemp Center, for helping me restore and maintain my health with no side effects and no high. Find out more at ToledoHempCenter.com.
This summer, discover the one place where your family will create unforgettable memories. Welcome to Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. Rated PG-13.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show. Oh, yes, it is. Today we bring you on the Cadillac No Smell Bags phone lines, Jeffrey Peterson. Welcome to the program, Jeffrey.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Rocking and rolling, and mostly rolling. I don't know about you, but I'd rather roll than rock, for sure.
Definitely. I just stuff weed into a bong because I can't roll for shit.
Well, that's what they have the rollers for, or there's always the old dollar bill trick, right?
That's right.
Dollar bill. So,
or in my case, I got a girlfriend that can roll great doobies, so that was a caveat when I met her. So,
I figure if you're smoking blunts, you ain't got the right weed.
That's right. That's how I feel too. I'm an old school Jeff Spicoli bong smoker, so that's my style.
Yeah, Jeff Spicoli, he's the whole. I don't know. It must date us because I don't. Do the younger folk understand who Jeff Spicoli is? I don't know if they do.
They don't. And even when you refer to checkered vans as Spicolis, they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Yeah,
when I realized I was getting old, I had, and she may listen to this program. She's a Facebook friend. She might have seen the post and tuned in. Nicole, I'm going to call her out. Nicole Salem. She used to be on our Detroit radio show. I hired her. Yeah, it's a long story. Anyway, Nicole came into the studio once, and I was recording her. My job at the facility was to do all the commercial production. So I had written a commercial where I had her being a part. I needed a female part. And so I had her come in to record it, and she recorded it. And while I was editing it, she was kind of sitting around watching while I was editing it. And I don't know if anybody's ever done any digital editing, but if you hit the space bar, it stops and starts the audio. And so I said, look, I can max headroom you. And I went, and she started talking, and she looked at me like I had 3 heads. And then I realized I was old.
Yeah.
Max headroom. You didn't get the max headroom reference.
That's an occupational hazard for me because, when I do things like open for the Cottonmouth Kings, I realize the kids I'm looking at are anywhere from like 16 to 22, so my references have to be hip.
Well, yes, because the whole thing about comedy, and I've said this before, as is exemplified in a Visa commercial. Have you ever seen a Visa commercial with Jerry Seinfeld on it?
Yeah.
And he's doing a baseball joke in America, and he's like, what is this, the 7th inning stretch? And the audience roars, and the announcer goes on, but what you do in one country might not work elsewhere. And he's standing on a British stage, and he goes, what is this, the 7th inning stretch? And there's silence and a cricket in the background.
That's right. That's why he had to, and in the commercial, that's why he had to tell a cricket joke. Because
right.
That's what they play there.
Well, the joke was that he wasn't relatable. The comedy doesn't work in another country where Visa works in all countries. That was the point of the commercial. I just did one for Visa. Hey, what are they paying me? Do I get, I should get paid like the what's in your wallet people. Anyway, so I had to reach out to you because you are known as the 420 comic. Where'd you get that label, Jeff?
Well, it's a self-proclaimed title. When I started doing comedy in 2003, I was very fortunate to work with some people like the late great Vic Dunlop from the Gong Show, and Unknown Comic.
The Unknown Comic.
Yeah.
The paper had. That's another old reference. That's another old reference. People, have to be.
That's a very old reference, and it's the guy with the bag on his face. And I saw what the Unknown Comic did by setting himself apart from everyone else. And when I started out, Cheech and Chong were my inspiration and my heroes, but I had to find a way to where I just wasn't another pot comic. So by being the 420 comic, I've kind of cornered a market there, and hopefully I'm the guy they think of when they think of pot jokes. So
have you ever done anything with Ngaio Belum? I keep saying that wrong.
Yeah, and so I've known Ngaio for many, many years. Ngaio and I have done many cannabis festivals together, including the Sacramento Hemp Fest and the Cannabis Comedy Festivals in Los Angeles and in Sacramento. But we've also we have the distinction of starting a magazine called West Coast Cannabis. My brother Dan Peterson and Ngaio and I started a magazine in 2008. So,
I did not know.
Quite a bit.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So
now I publish after that. My brother and I started a magazine called Cali Chronic X, which featured adult film stars using cannabis. And our claim to fame there was Charlie Sheen discovered one of his two goddesses, the most famous cannabis model in the world, Natty Kenley, was on our cover. And then now I publish comic books. So,
wow, various and sundry.
Yep.
So
I try to keep busy,
When I think of comic books, I think of superheroes. I don't think of what really comic books are about, which is really just comedy in general.
Well, you know what? I have among my titles, the first title I had is called Super Stoners, and they are superheroes on weed, and that became very popular. We're working on our third issue of Super Stoners right now, and I was on a TV show called The Marijuana Show, which is the Shark Tank for stoners.
Really?
And I was I can say because the Wall Street Journal let the cat out of the bag, I was the only person on the show of the 10 contestants that got an investment. So I guess that makes me the winner.
when and where does this program air? Because we were considering, you'll hear a commercial during the commercial break, which will come up here, I don't know, in a bit. With it's Pot Pitch, potpitch.com, which it's much the same thing, much the same idea.
Yeah. Well, this show is it's on YouTube and on marijuana.com, and it's currently airing. I'm one of the 10 cast members, and they're actually in the next 2 weeks they're going to be casting for season 2. And
no kidding.
Yeah, and I believe they signed a development deal with a major distribution company.
No kidding.
I don't know which, but it may be on, Discovery Channel or Bravo, one of those coming real soon.
Oh, there's a guy at potpitch.com that's sinking his head low right now.
Well, everybody's running for the same brass ring. That's why with this cannabis industry, you've got to be really creative and think outside the box. And I believe that's why I won on the Marijuana Show, because I pitched my comic book company. And the funny thing is at first people were like, wow, that is so far outside of, the typical pitch, because people were pitching their edible companies, their grow supplies, or things directly related with cannabis. And what I do is I deal with the cannabis culture. So,
right. Well, I'd say that would be thinking outside the hot box if you're a stoner.
That's right. And I'm just a comic book nerd at heart. And the great thing is it's all kind of coming together. I mean, of course, back in the day, there was the Fabulous Freak Brothers. And then Jay and Silent Bob with Bloodman and Chronic kind of moved it forward. But right now, there's actually several different people producing comic books for the cannabis industry. So there's kind of a wave building. And in fact, last November here in Colorado, we had the first ever comic book convention for the cannabis world. It was called Chromicon. Amazing.
What? Say that again. What is the name?
It's called Chromicon.
Chromicon. And this is a marijuana comedy?
It is a cannabis-friendly comic book convention. and it was in Colorado Springs at the Speakeasy Vape Lounge. We're going to be doing it again this fall. It was tremendous. You couldn't believe this, Steve. We had the actual Cousin It, Felix Silla from the TV show. He was there. He's also Twiki from
wait a minute.
Rogers.
So how do you know if it's the real Cousin It? Did you look under the costume?
No, we know because he's very famous for these characters, and he's also one of the Ewoks. We also had Carl Strucken, who is the actual Lurch from the 90s Addams Family movie.
You rang.
I mean, so it wasn't just like a low rent comic book convention. This was the real deal. And to top it off, I had my comedy show with Carlos Alazraqui from Reno 911. So that's
look, you know who would fit? Who's Elvira? She would fit in that really well, I would think.
Well, we would love it. And the thing is, I was an animator for 16 years. I worked on X-Men, Batman, Fantastic Four, all that kind of stuff.
Man, you're dropping some stuff on me. I got to brush up better before I get guests on the air. Good Lord.
Yeah. So the neat thing was my whole career kind of came into focus because they gave my own booth to sign my comic books, and now that's part of my career. Is the Denver Comic Con was just here, and I was signing comic books over at Mile High Comics, the largest comic book store in the world, and so now I'm just really excited to be part of this whole other thing, and we're going to keep doing it, and more cannabis-friendly comic book people are coming out of the woodwork, the cosplay people, so it's going to be neat.
Say, there are a couple of other people that I know that I've been able to research and brush up on, and you may know some of them, you may not know some of them, but they, this is a really niche field. Would you agree, this 420 comedy?
It is a niche field, and what's funny is I'm finding, after doing this now for 13 years, and I remember when I started, some of the advice I got from some people was, you're really pigeonholing yourself.
Right.
This is going to ruin your career.
Yeah, you're going to be like Mary Ann or Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. You're just going to get labeled and you'll never get a job. Like you're reaching higher.
And actually, one of the people who told me to stick with this and never falter from it was George Lopez. George Lopez was very supportive of me and told me that Cheech and Chong were his heroes. So if I stick with it, I'll be the guy. And, last year I opened for Cheech and Chong here in Denver. And
they don't play much together anymore, do they? They're very, very rare together anymore.
Oh, no, they're together. They're touring all over still, yeah. So Cheech and Chong are back in a big way. But Tommy is definitely, the spokesperson for cannabis today. I mean, he is a great thing is Tommy gave me a little nod on Dancing with the Stars when he made a reference to my joke, the world's most interesting stoner. So that made me feel really good.
Oh, good. God love Tommy. We had him on the program here. I don't know, a few weeks back in April, and we had him give us a liner on the air, and that was pretty funny. I keep using it going in and out of commercial breaks occasionally. I don't want to overuse it, but it's funny as hell.
Well, these guys were great. I mean, it was thrilling enough to perform with Cheech and Chong, which is rare for a comic even, because a lot of people have performed with Tommy Chong, but not a lot of comics open for Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
So that was really a blessing. And then what happened backstage was mind-blowing because we just completely bonded. I mean, and it's such a huge way, too. I mean, I had Cheech and Chong's attention in a way that was so odd because Cheech was asking me to do impressions for him. I do celebrity impressions, but Cheech was like, "Really? Now do Gary Busey. Now do Matthew McConaughey." And I was like, "This is great, dude. I mean, my hero is like asking me to entertain him. So this was fantastic." Yeah.
So what I was starting to say about these other comics that seem to either specialize in this to some degree or, even a good portion of their routines surround marijuana. I asked this of Ngayo Bilum. I said it right this time. Last week I said, look, the guys that did the Blue Collar Top Comedy Tour, Jeff Foxworthy, and you had Larry the Cable Guy and Ron White
and Bill Engvall.
Yes, they made a fortune running around the country, specializing in a certain form of comedy, much like this. Why isn't there a 420 comedy tour on their heels?
Well, the thing is, there has been some, and that's something that has been talked about much. But I have the benefit of now. I was a Los Angeles comic, but now I live here in Denver. I perform at shows for people who are legally using cannabis right in front of me.
Yeah.
So this is the ideal situation I've been working on for years. They just opened up the first cannabis-friendly hotel here. They just opened up the first cannabis-friendly movie theater. So the first.
Wait, I got one to top it. They just started the first FM radio station all about cannabis.
That's right, and I was just on that last week. My buddies at K-High.
K-High, and there's an FM station because that's the K-High's the AM station. The FM station started this week. 94.5, I think, is out there.
And that's the thing is, you see, everything is niching out and specializing. That's why I started a comic book company devoted to the cannabis world. And what's neat is I'm seeing more and more comedians that all of a sudden are pot comics. So it's kind of interesting for me to watch. When I started in 2003, there was Cheech and Chong, Joe Rogan, and the guys from the Marijuana Logs, Doug Benson and those guys, and that was about it.
You get some Bill Maher stuff in there, don't you?
And Bill Maher too. But see, Bill Maher. See the difference between like Bill Maher and Joe Rogan and Doug Benson. They're not pigeonholed like me. I've put it out that I am the 420 comic, so pretty much you know what you're going to get when you hear my material. Not that all of my material is devoted to that, but I really believe in this theme, and it's like tonight I'll be performing at a lesbian bar. Tomorrow I'm performing at a gay bar. So
whoa, wait a minute! Is there a transgender bar yet? Is there a Bruce bar? No.
If there is, I'll find it and perform there. So,
they may make you do it in drag. I'm not sure.
Well, I do cosplay, so you never know. And the thing is,
or you could go as
I was raised by lesbians, so I have a lot of transgender, gay lesbian experience. I'm part of the LBGT world by accident.
You can relate, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, we're hitting the commercial break now, so I'll have to have you hang on for a second. But maybe I should just dip out of the pot pitch spot just right now and just kill it. I'm just saying, it's going to play.
Yeah.
I know that guy's hanging his head low. He's like, oh, man, day late and $1 short. What's that about? Come on. So hang on through the break if you can with us, Jeff. There's so much more I got to talk with you about, and it seems like you've got a lot of material that's laying out there that I can connect people to. Maybe we can give them some ways to connect up with some of your comedy material and follow your tours. That would be great. Hang on. More to come next. It's 420 Comedy Wednesday on thefullmelt.com.
Getting the full melt.
Each week, Pot Pitch takes a look at different medical or legal pot business as they attempt to seek investment capital and partners in order to take their business to the next level. What do investors like?
And which entrepreneurs are shown the door?
Real venture capitalists, smart entrepreneurs, and exciting business models in a brand new industry, cannabis. Pot Pitch. Find out what this new marijuana industry will look like and who its players will be. Real deals, real people, real decisions. Pot Pitch at potpitch.com and featured on the Full Melt Radio Show.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
With this warmer weather, I get more active. Headaches and pains keep me from doing things I enjoy, like golfing and working outside my yard. Toledo Hemp Center's new location, 1415 Sylvania Avenue, has shown me there is an alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. I use CBD, cannabidiol, infused hemp lotions, oral sprays, and topical oils. Thank you, Toledo Hemp Center, for helping me restore and maintain my health with no side effects and no high. Find out more at ToledoHempCenter.com.
In an emergency, I'll just dial 918.
But the wonderful thing is you kids get along. And we were able to have a third beautiful child.
Wait, but how did you have an extra room for Maggie?
Well, that's where I used to grow my weed.
You're listening to The Full Melt Show. Listen, got to invite you in on this conversation if our guest, Jeff, will let us do that. 844-420-TALK. It's toll free. If you've got some kind of pot comment or if you want to ask our guest a question, it seems like I'm full of them. There's nothing I can do but ask questions at this point. Jeff, where are you at right now? So you're in Denver, and you said that you're going to perform at a lesbian bar tonight?
Yes, I am. I'll be at Blush and Blue in Denver. It is Pride Month. June is officially Pride Month, so I'll be doing a lot of Pride-related events this month, for sure.
Well, congratulations to that. I haven't revealed it here on, I guess recently on the program, but, I'm a member of the gay community, so I've always been that way. It's always been, unless I tell somebody they don't know, because I don't have the swish going on, you know what I'm saying?
Well, what's funny is I tell people I'm not gay-friendly, I'm just friendly.
Well, there you go.
Because I really hate the double standard. I mean, it's like, if there's one way, you can really turn me off, it's be homophobic, because it shows such a huge insecurity in people.
It's major shallowness.
It's like get over yourself. And, so fortunately I kind of had that experience growing up in a gay household helped me to have a broader view of the world, and I have transgender friends, I have gay friends, I have straight friends, I have, religious nut friends, and
they're all just friends, right?
Republican friends.
That's what it comes down to. It's everybody's friends. You don't have to buttonhole somebody in a category. I have black friends. I have white friends. No, you just got friends.
Exactly. That's why I don't even like to say to put myself in a corner as being gay friendly. I actually do have a good lesbian following though because of some of my material, and my new comic book Rainy Day Women actually is about a lesbian super duo that use cannabis to fight crime. So
what do they do? Run by and blow smoke in the criminals' faces until they're too stoned to figure out they're under arrest?
That could be one technique, but they use edible cannabis to fly and to soar.
Well, if people wanted to get a hold of one of your comic books, where's the best place you can point them to? Because is this available in most comic book stores?
It will be soon. I am slowly but surely working on a distribution deal to get these all across the nation. But I just worked out a deal with Mile High Comics here in Denver, which is, like I said, the largest comic book store in the world. I'll be slowly but surely implementing these across the United States, and you can always hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, any one of those, and I'll gladly get you out a comic book. And also, you can see any of my material, my comedy on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, The 420 Comic.
Oh, I didn't know that, because I was Googling you earlier for the little piece that I played up front. I played like a 3-minute clip of one of your comedy routines, and I was looking for some clear audio because, we're trying to play it on the radio. Most of the clips that I found on YouTube were by people with a telephone or some video camera that was out in the audience, and you know how it is when the audience the audio is horrible.
Some of it, the stuff I have is out there in other formats. I've done a lot of stuff with the group Cottonmouth Kings. There's some really good stuff on that. I'm in the process right now of coming out with a brand new reel, but there's definitely stuff of me. I've been on TMZ. You can find some stuff of me, and the Marijuana Show, like I just said. So, I'm out there. But yeah, there's a lot of bootleg stuff of me. That's for sure, because a lot of these clubs that I perform at, they don't allow you to film. So people do it anyways, and then they put it up.
Well, it's good for you guys, probably, right? I mean, to some degree.
Yeah.
Well, except it probably spoils your routine if nobody's come out. I mean, you guys get paid by putting butts in seats, right?
That's right. And, it keeps us on our toes to create new stuff. And but I enjoy performing to a crowd in a region I've never been to, because it's generally they probably haven't seen all my stuff. So, I try purposely not to saturate too much of my material out there, because then the spontaneity's gone, Have
you ever had a chance to play with somebody like Kevin Nealon? I know Kevin Nealon was in the Weeds show for a while, and I know he's doing a lot of stand-up. Have you ever had a chance to bump into Kevin?
No, you know what? I've never performed with Kevin Nealon. I am a fan. I've always liked his stuff. I've had the the, great pleasure of performing with some legends, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Roseanne Barr. I performed with Tim Allen and Tom Arnold, a bunch of people, Damon Wayans came into my show one time and did a bunch of time, and I've been very fortunate. And on the musical side, I opened for a lot of musical acts. Willie Nelson, I've performed with Ziggy Marley, Redman. So I've been pretty fortunate in getting opportunities. Last year out here, after I opened for Cheech and Chong, I got to perform with Rain Pryor, Richard Pryor's daughter, and she and I hit it off very well.
I didn't know that Richard Pryor's daughter was doing stand-up. That's an awesome thing.
She does. Yeah, and she does stand up, currently, and it was great. She was so gracious. I do a Jim Morrison routine, and she mentioned it on stage and stuff, how much she liked it. So it's just neat to be able to do this for a living, and I keep reaching for higher aspirations in this comedy world, but I can tell you I'm enjoying the ride. So
it's got to be a lot of fun. Admittedly, it has to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no pun intended, but I stop and smell the flowers a lot.
In many good places, I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a good flower to smell.
That's right.
And there's so many kinds. There's so many varieties. I remember we had Joe Rogan on the Kramer and Twitch show. I used to produce a show in Detroit called the Kramer and Twitch show. Keith Kramer is out in Toledo now doing a show out there, I think. But he's friends with Joe Rogan. And I got to reach out to him to get a number to call to see if I can't get Joe to come on the program. That would be pretty cool. If you were to reach out to one of your comedy friends, who do you think you could get to come on the program? And because what I'd like to do, Jeff, is to assemble. I'm just doing once a week right now to get a lineup going, and then maybe rotate through them once a month and follow some people and catch up with them. That kind of thing. I think it would be a fun feature.
Well, what's neat is over the years I've got to become friends with people I look up to and stuff. I was actually the doorman for the Ice House Comedy Club in Los Angeles, which is the oldest comedy club in America. And because of that, I got to, be friends with people like Craig Robinson and Billy Gardell. Great comedians that I look up to. And like I said, I've worked with Joe Rogan. I got to do the High Times comedy show with Joe Rogan before, so it's been neat. And for me too, I really appreciate working with the old time guys like Rip Taylor. I did a show with Rip Taylor once that was just phenomenal. I couldn't believe it.
Oh wow! Yeah, we're talking about the guy that throws the confetti everywhere.
The confetti dude, yeah.
The big mustache.
Yeah. So,
is he still around?
Yeah. So
Man.
to work with people like that has been really cool. But yeah,
I think I always confuse Rip Taylor with Rip Torn. Oops, I'm sorry. I talked over you. I confuse Rip Taylor with Rip Torn sometimes.
A lot of people do. I'm sure Rip Taylor hears that.
I'm sure. It's like, wait, Rip Torn. It's Rip Torn. I need a pic. Let's take a selfie with Rip Torn. No, he'd probably flip him the bird.
Yeah.
You're taking the picture with the wrong guy. I'm not that guy. I don't know. So, what's next? I mean, have you ever been approached about doing a sitcom? Because it seems like that's where stand-up comics go. If they're reaching for aspirations, they get hired onto a sitcom somewhere.
You know what? I have talked to people. I've been in some negotiations. I wrote a screenplay for the Cottonmouth Kings, and I was the second lead in it. But it just never came to fruition because of some contract problems. But I've been approached a few times, mostly on like sketch comedy shows. But where I'm going right now is my intellectual properties for my comic books are becoming so strong that I'm ready to take these to Adult Swim or Fox's Animation Domination, because that's kind of my background. I do tons of impressions in my act. So and I'm actually a regular on the Fraser Smith show in Los Angeles on KLOS. And to work with someone like Fraser Smith in Los Angeles is a legend. I mean, when I was a teenager, I used to listen to him on the radio, and now he's one of my best friends. So that's kind of the great aspect of comedy is, being able to, bump into and be friends with these people. And for me to have my own show, I've had a show that I produce called The Dopest Show on Earth. I've been doing that for 9 years. I mean, the people I've had in my show are astonishing to me. I mean, cast members from Saturday Night Live, SNL, Mad TV, Playboy Playmates. I've had all kinds of people that I work with. So it's just a great opportunity to work with cool people, you know?
You, sir, like are me, fortunate in the way that you've had an opportunity to meet a lot of famous people. Because, doing radio, I've had met a lot of famous people, interviewed them both in studio and on the phone. And most people don't get a chance to shake hands face-to-face with somebody they've formerly only seen on the big screen. Really?
Yeah. And, and when you get to work with them in a kind of a colleague situation,
right.
It was one thing to admire Cheech and Chong from the sidelines, but when I was part of their production and to hang out with them and be, a colleague, it was incredible. So I just keep looking forward to the next thing. But if there is a producer out there, I'm definitely down for a sitcom.
That's got to be the next place. Adult Swim sounds like a fantastic idea. You ever watch the Squidbillies on Adult Swim?
I do. I love all that stuff. Squidbillies and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Did you see the marijuana episode with the Squidbillies?
Yeah, definitely.
If you've never seen the Squidbillies, check them out. You can find them, I think, on YouTube.
But now there's more and more cartoons that are on Adult Swim and on Fox Animation Domination, like the Lucas Brothers and stuff, where they, cannabis is out of the bag now. Like almost all the sitcoms you see, And there's another great person I've worked with. I was very fortunate to work with Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, Garrett, hang on 1 second. Jeff, we only planned you for a half an hour, but I'd love to have you continue through we got a break coming here. Stand by. I've got to hear more about the famous people that we've worked with in comedy. Jeff Peterson, more on the next.
You're getting the full melt.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Each week, Pot Pitch takes a look at different medical or legal pot business as they attempt to seek investment capital and partners in order to take their business to the next level. What do investors like?
And which entrepreneurs are shown the door?
Real venture capitalists, smart entrepreneurs, and exciting business models in a brand new industry, cannabis. Pot Pitch. Find out what this new marijuana industry will look like and who its players will be. Real deals, real people, real decisions. Pot Pitch at potpitch.com and featured on the Full Melt Radio Show.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
It's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience, bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
They're parasites. They've got no contribution to this society. They're preying on our community and our kids. And it's going to end badly.
We've got exactly $100,000 in cash in the back of this car. I bet there's guys right there in that prison for doing just what we're about to do.
I want the Breckenridge Cannabis Club to be a household name.
This is us pioneering a new industry.
He's going after every resort town in Colorado. His plan is brilliant.
this is a big boy operation now.
We are not the Amsterdam of the Rockies. We're Breckenridge.
Absolutely unbelievable to us that this has happened so quickly.
That's when the town erupted.
All hell can break loose.
I think we have an image to protect.
The powerful elite has definitely put the pressure on.
Everyone is playing everyone.
They're going to have a target painted on their back.
That is a real threat.
There's $2 billion to be had next year. I plan to take more than my fair share.
High Profits, Sunday night at 10 Eastern on CNN.
This summer, discover the one place where your family will create unforgettable memories. Welcome to Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. Rated PG-13.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
All right, I'll see if this will work. I don't know if it's going to work because it's all coming out of the same box. Let's see if it'll do it. This is
Tommy Chong, and you're listening to the Full Melt Show.
It's not the full drop. I just used a partial clip, but the rest of that drop, if you get a chance to hear it, funniest thing ever from Tommy Chong. Tommy's going deaf, so on the phone, it's hard for him to hear something like the Full Melt. It took him forever to figure out, hey, all you need to say, Tommy, is the Full Melt. He was the full boat, the whole mouth. He had so many various forms of the Full Melt. I felt bad, but it was hilarious in the long run. Back to the Canalock No Smell Bags comedy guest line with Jeff Peterson, 420 Comic.
Yeah, man. You know what? You got me thinking about some of the great people I've been able to rub elbows with and work with. You're coming from Michigan. There's just in March of this year, I had the unbelievable distinction of working with a true 60s cultural legend, John Sinclair.
Oh, yeah, John. I've bumped into John at many events here in Michigan because he's a Michigander, you know.
He is, and what a guy to meet. I mean, I'm a huge MC5 fan, and just the contribution he's made. I mean, this guy is a folk hero in America, and I mean, so to work with a guy like that and to hang out and smoke a joint with John Sinclair was pretty damn cool.
Look, I got a quick story about John Sinclair to share with you at the first Medical Cannabis Cup in Detroit. They held one there once. And then they didn't hold it for a while because the cannabis cups are all about caregivers and, the guys that grow it and, claiming rights entitled to, the product that they produce. And so for a while they had cracked down on the dispensaries here. And so High Times says, we're out of here. And then they came back and now they're holding that event in Clio, Michigan at a speedway there. It's an awesome event if you get a chance. But John was at the first Detroit Medical Cannabis Cup and he was there to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I don't know if you've probably been at some of these cups before, haven't you, Jeff?
Oh, many of them, but never in Michigan, but many in California and, other companies. Countries. Have
you run into Captain Kirk?
No, I have not.
Captain Kirk does these medibles, and he's won several years in a row for the medical products. In fact, several cups in the same year, I think. He makes this key lime pie, and he had shared some with John Sinclair, who had eaten enough of the key lime pie that he was not available to accept the award from Dan's guy at the stage at the Cannabis Cup. He's like sleeping in the van.
That's nice. That's a good testimonial. But I can't. I had the great luck and really good fortune of being friends with Jack Hare, the late great Jack Hare. Jack was somebody who was hugely supportive of me, and I kind of got to be like a personal court jester to people like Jack Hare and the Cottonmouth Kings, and so when these guys constantly call me back to do stuff with them, it's been great. And Jack, I miss him frequently, and the other cool guy that I'm very fortunate to know is the inspiration for The Big Lebowski.
Oh wow!
Jeff Dowd is a very good friend of mine, and Jeff is, if you thought the dude was an interesting character, the real dude is 10 times more interesting.
I'm sure. Look, that's got to be fascinating. Listen,
yeah, it is. We developed a friendship from Lebowski Fest. I'm what they call an achiever. an uber fan of The Big Lebowski, and I even have a comic book called The Achievers. I made my own sequel, and I told Jeff that I was going to do it, and he said, I dare you to do it. Go ahead.
You know, I know. If do you do your own artist work for the
I do.
So you do your own drawings.
The whole thing.
If you ever need another guy to do comic work, I know a guy. I know a guy that's really good at drawing. He's just never found a good outlet for it. But
see, this is where I come in. Is what I'm reaching out to people is now that I have an established publishing company and I intend to be the Stan Lee of weed.
Right.
People can come to me with their comic book ideas, and if they're an artist or a writer, I can either put another writer with them, or we can develop their idea and make it happen.
Oh, man.
That's the important thing, is the follow-through. Because people are really surprised when you hand something to them, and they're like, you did this and you smoked that much pot?
Right.
Like, you actually did something?
Everybody's going to say, look, yeah, the stoners are underachievers. What about Jeff? Oh, what about Jeff? That's what I would say first thing. Because it sounds like you've just achieved a crap ton of stuff. How much is a crap ton? I'm not sure. Listen.
Well, you know what? I'm one of those highly motivated stoners, and I'm in the right place because I'll tell you, people here in Colorado are very forward-thinking. It's no wonder they're leading the way in the world as the cannabis capital of the world, because they are really on the cusp of ingenuity. I mean, these people are so, from the growers to just entrepreneurs.
Well, they're blazing a trail, aren't they? They're really cutting the path.
They are, and it's just, the new avenues that they find, the new niches for cannabis. I mean, if you ever did karaoke, well, they do it with cannabis.
Right.
Any activity you can think of, they add cannabis to it.
So we got some latecomers to the program. Can we take a call? Is that okay? I've got somebody that wants to ask a question,
Sure.
I believe. So we'll go to the Cadillacs caller line 1. Hello, you're on the air with Jeff Peterson.
What's up, Steve?
It's Nikki. It's Nikki from, you're out near Grand Ledge. Is that where you're at?
Grand Haven.
Grand Haven. I get all the Grands mixed up. Grand River. It's too many. Nikki's a fan, yes?
Awesome. Well, good to hear from you, Nikki.
You got a question or a comment, or you got Nikki's a comedian. She frequently hits us up on the Facebook, and she's got she's a stitch. When her and I get together on stuff, we can't stop.
Well,
don't tell him about the knit. Don't tell him about the knitting, Nikki. Don't tell him about the knitting.
Hey, that's all you, Steve. You're the one that's got the knitting fascination. I'm just a fan.
So you got what's your question, or do you got to tell a joke to tell? What you got, Nikki?
No, just called in to support you.
Support me.
I don't want you to be all alone.
Yeah,
That's cool. Well, you know what, you guys, I want to come that way. I've been in negotiations for the last couple of years, but I'm hoping 2016 I will be there for the Ann Arbor Hash Bash because it's a goal of mine.
Look, obviously I'm in connection with those people. We could make that happen for you, Jeff, for sure. I know all the guys that put that stuff together. Actually, it's the Monroe Street Fair you want to get hooked up to. So you could probably speak at the Hash Bash, and maybe
I would love to.
Maybe get a stage position to do your
ended.
to do your stand up. It looks like Nikki disappeared.
You know, I'm so fortunate too that I should be in Michigan in the fall because there's a great Michigan musician that I've been able to work with on a couple occasions, Laith
Assad. Laith
Yeah.
Assad. I think it's Assad or Assadi. I think it's Assad.
He is not only a just unbelievable talent.
Yes, he is.
A super great guy, and he's extended a welcome to me to come and open for him on some dates in Michigan this fall. So
that's badass.
Yeah, you guys will be seeing me with Laith, and if you've seen him, this is a blues monster.
Okay, now you made me actually stop the automation because I have to say this now because the show was going to run short and end. We're always up against the clock, but I have the I have the pocket veto on when the show ends. So I use the pocket veto. It rarely happens. So now that you mentioned Laith, I have to plug my good friend Jamie Lowell and Daryl Stavros' place. This is a place in Ypsilanti, Michigan. It is a medical marijuana dispensary. It is a licensed facility, and it is a top-notch place. They just renovated. So they're having a grand reopening coming up on Saturday. So all the people out here in Michigan, all my Michigan friends, if you want to come to a great place, go down to Third Coast Compassion Center in Ypsi. You can look it up online, find them. And Lath is going to be playing Saturday at 5 o'clock. Lath will be there playing. They've hired him in there to help them reopen that certification center. But look, on a larger note, when you get into town, boy, I'd love to direct some of our listeners to have an opportunity to come and see you. So we got to hook that up
for sure.
I'll even be interested in getting us some tickets and giving them away on the program.
Awesome. Well, this has been a great time talking with you guys. Before I let you go, I just want to mention I'll be at some important events this summer, the U.S. Cannabis Expo in Colorado Springs, June 19th and 20th. And I'll also be part of the Weed Pimps Rock the Canyon 3 out here, which is pretty cool. These guys are pretty famous, the Weed Pimps. That's in July. And then in August, I'll be part of the 32nd annual Bongathon.
Wow. What's up with the Bongathon? Tell us about the Bongathon, because that just sounds fun, but it's the Bongathon. The
Bongathon is legendary. These guys are, let me just put it this way, if you ever considered yourself a competitive cannabis smoker, you need to meet these people, because what they do is they have the fastest gram contests, fastest dab contests. They have a team of 5 people that smoke an ounce. That's top speed.
That's look, I've watched the guys on YouTube. There's some videos on there of people doing like 5 grams at a time and like 20 grams at a time, and they just aqua lung it. Literally, they got the mask on, and they blow it out, and it keeps sucking, and it just there goes 5 grams of wax. I'm like, oh my God, I would be cross-eyed and legs in the air like a raid can.
It's insane, and you know what? I believe the record is 31 seconds for a gram right now.
Man,
and these guys are unbelievable. There's a bunch of great bands and comedians and performance artists and glass blowers out there. So
hardcore,
hardcore.
The Bongathon. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk? When are you planning on popping out this way? Did you know?
Hopefully in the fall. Hopefully, probably in the end of September, beginning of October. My schedule's pretty tied up for the summer, which is I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, that's great for a comic. Absolutely.
Next week I'll be performing, headlining in Las Vegas at Adrenaline on the 9th, and then I'll be in Los Angeles at Universal City Walk headlining. So I'll be making the rounds.
Well, I'll be keeping in touch with you for sure, and I'm going to have to lean on you to talk to your friends at the Cottonmouth Kings. Listen, I'm a caregiver as well as a patient here in Michigan.
Yeah,
and one of my patients is absolute gaga over the Cottonmouth Kings. I never got fascinated by that.
We'll have to talk to the boys. They're great guys, and they're super into their fans. So I'm sure they'd be into it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jeffrey Peterson, for coming on and enlightening our day with some 420 comedy information. We'll see you in the fall.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you before then, though.
All right, for sure. Absolutely. Tune in tomorrow. We got more great information on the cannabis community coming to you here on thefullmelt.com.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.